Welcome to the channel. Gotta feel this. And man, I'm calling it right now. Fight of the year. Yeah, me. David Benavidez versus David Morrell. The intensity between these two, it's gonna be a barn burner for sure. You know, with the intensity that David Benavidez brings alone, and getting Morrell out of his character. I watched the press conference yesterday, and the one thing that stuck out to me most was when they asked Morrell, you're not usually like this going into a fight. You know, you're not usually like this going into a fight. You know, what is it? And I can't really remember his answer, but the question struck a nerve in me because it's like, damn, Benavidez was being respectful. Morrell started the disrespect, and it's like, what is it? Is it fear? And you trying to hype yourself up to go in? Because his answer was, when they asked him about throwing the title and all that, he worked hard to get this fight, and got in position to get this fight. Why would he want to get it canceled and all that? Which was, that made sense. But it was like, damn, what is getting him out of character? There's nothing happened for him not to like Benavidez. It was just like, is he trying to build himself up to, go as hard as, But we just gotta wait and see. And what I like about this fight, I'm glad it didn't happen when people were saying it. Benavidez had a point. It's best for them to both have a title. This should be a unification fight, which it is. And my prediction is Benavidez. And granted, I haven't seen much of Morrell, to be honest, but it's kind of hard to go against Benavidez. The guy has a motor that just keeps on going and going and going, and his effort, it just seems like he never slows down. I've never seen him hurt, wobble, nothing, and he's always coming forward. And I think with that pressure that he brings, and a lot of people say, he doesn't have much skill. He talks about it. He says, I've never had to use these things and stuff like that, which I don't believe none of that. I feel like that's why it trips me out when boxers switch trainers, because it's like, your style is your style. You are who you are as a boxer. My opinion. I've never gotten a ring. I've never trained for a fight. So, but from the outside looking in, when I see boxers fight, even when I see them change trainers, there's still, it's probably little nuances that they could change just a little bit, tweak a little bit, but you're going to fight the way that you fight. Especially when you're in that war, just natural instincts going to kick in of what you do best. Now there's some guys who have a lot in their arsenal and they can, strategize, because a lot of times they talk strategy. I mean, I think, when your style is what it is, I feel like a lot of guys, might say, we're not going to put the pressure on early, like certain things, but how you fight is never going to change. You might say, we're not going to throw as many in the beginning. We're going to see what he got first. I want to feel his power first, something like that before, But I don't think Benavidez has great footwork. I've never seen him like pivot and turn and stuff like that. I've never seen him, you know, do anything extravagant that's like boxing IQ wise. I just see him pummel guys. And maybe what he's saying is true. He's never had to use those things. But I think in this weight class, you know, he's not that big of a guy. You know, with his last fight, you know, he he wasn't able to just destroy the guy. You know, he beat him, you know, fairly easy. You know, I gave him like 8, 9 rounds, something like that. But also I've when I watched Morrell last fight, you know, he wasn't able to really dominate in the fight either. You know, and it's just like this is the perfect weight class for both of them to fight. You know, and this will really determine, you know, who's the better fighter. You know, I think David would have had a much better chance at 68, but now I feel like the fight is a lot more even. But man, I can't wait to see. You know, as far as Morrell, I think he has, you know, the better boxing IQ or talent, athleticism. You know, and David is just, you know, a will guy. He's going to will his way in. He's going to will the win. He's going to will. And I just think that will be the determining factor. Whoever's got the most will, you know, and maybe it may have been 168. Why? But even his last fight with Benavidez, you know, I didn't see him take no steps back. He still was the same guy, you know, pressure, forcing, you know, his will, doing what he wants to do in the fight. So, you know, I'm very excited for this fight. I do believe it's going to be fight of the year, or at least candidate for fight of the year. It's going to get real ugly in there, you know. And I'm glad these guys, with this build up, you know, they're going to unleash a lot of that. And David just naturally, I mean, Benavidez just naturally has that. And for you to click, I mean, that's not a guy I feel like you want to say. He just, when he talks, it's so convincing. You know, he's just like, I'm going to beat the fuck out you. I'm going to break your face. And, you know, the guy said that before. You know, he is a robot, you know. It's just like, boom, boom, boom. You know, it's hard to not really notice that. You know, when I hear other boxing enthusiasts, former boxers, you know, I feel like they don't want to speak down on anybody a lot of times unless you don't like a guy. But I think Morrell is calling it what it is. You know, you're a robot, you're a stiff guy, you know, and that's okay because it's working for him. You know, it always has. So, you know, I've never seen him do anything significant to be like, whoa, you know. It's just old school, you know, I'm just going to do more than you, you know. And I've never seen, granted, I haven't seen much of Morrell, but I think the experience will also play a huge factor in this fight. Benavidez have been in there with Plant, Boo Boo. Granted, Boo Boo really shouldn't have been in there with him. You know, these top tier guys, you know, has prepared him for these big moments. You know, I think this might be Morrell's biggest fight of his career. And Benavidez has been there, done that. And it's just like, I can't be more excited for a fight, man. I don't see nothing really coming close to this as of right now for what we got lined up. You know, I think depending on how Shakur fights versus Floyd Schofield, that might be, you know, an interesting fight. But this one is going to really do it. This is going to set the tone for, you know, the light heavyweight division. And depending on how Benavidez looks, Benavides and Bivol better look out. You know, I feel like he definitely, I think him and Benavidez would be a better fight, but I think he does to Bivol what Canelo wanted to do. You know, but we gotta see, man. I mean, let me know what y'all think, man. I'm excited. Can't wait for the fight. It's gonna be, like I said, extravagant, man. Fight of the year. Let me know what y'all think. You know, do you feel like I'm tripping about what I'm saying about Benavidez? Like I also said, I don't know much about Morrell, but I do believe he's the more athletic fighter. Oh, let me get my point on how I think, if Morrell was to win, how I would think he would win. First, with the jab. That's going to be his key thing. But Benavidez covers up so well against the jab, you know. But I feel like to the body is where Morrell wins. Going to the body and the jab. And staying off the center line and angles. Because Benavidez is a straightforward guy. You know, he stands up straight. Everything is straight ahead with Benavidez. So if Morrell was to win, those are the things that I think he needs to do. If Benavidez wins, I think it's going to be what he always does. You know, just outpace a guy. I do think Morrell can win with those statements I just said. I think those are his only way. Don't go into a war with Benavidez. I think Benavidez will weather the storm, and I don't think nobody can keep up with him when it comes to, you know, pacing and stuff like that. I don't think nobody, probably in boxing, you know, can keep up with him when it comes to that type of pace that he puts in. But let me know what you guys think, man. I'm excited. I haven't been excited for a fight like this in a while. I think the last time I probably got excited for a fight like this was Haney and Ryan. And I think the next time so far, for what we got lined up so far right now, I think the next fight I will be excited for is Canelo Crawford, just because it's a David Goliath, you know, and history can be made, you know, and a guy can become iconic, and, you know, and another guy can say, you know, it can solidify, you know, a guy wanting to come up 3 weight classes. We can say that's not the thing to do. You know, so we can cross out a lot with that fight. You know, because Crawford, if anybody can do it, he's a guy that can do it. Tank, you know, Floyd did it. You know, he never made 154 a day in his life. So just let me know what y'all think, man. Like I said, I'm excited. I mean, I'm just like this, waiting for the fight, man. And let me know what y'all think about my comments. You know, talk to me, I talk back. Gotta feel this. Like, subscribe, share, you know, all the YouTube shit, man. And I'm out. You know what I mean? Shit.